Welcome, I'm Kristen Crump of Foxtrot Home. We are official stockists of the paint Authentico, and today I'm going to show you a simple transformation that you can do with an ordinary basket that you have at home and our Authentico vintage style paint, which is a chalk-based paint. And today the color that I'm going to use to transform this basket is called Casablanca. And Casablanca is a beautiful color. It is a white that is a little off-white but not too creamy. And the way I'm going to do this is with a dry brush method. Now I've actually transferred some of the paint into a squeeze bottle, and sometimes I do this when I get a little low on my paint because it kind of helps the paint last even longer. So what I'm going to do is just put some paint on an old piece of cardboard. Doesn't have to be anything special. And I'm actually, for this dry brush technique, going to use a standard chip brush, something you probably have at home as well. What you do is you simply put the paint on the brush and then wipe a lot of it away. And we're going to go ahead and get started. And we just want it to have kind of a weathered look. We don't want it to be solid. When you look at old baskets that have aged, they have some paint on them maybe, but not everywhere. And it looks really natural, and definitely with an heirloom finish. So as you see, I'm just dry brushing this on, so it's not going to be a very solid finish. And dry brushing is something you really can't mess up. It's very easy to do, and really has an authentic finish to it when doing this method. Another thing you can do is you can come in with a towel and wipe away areas that you want to be more exposed. So if I thought, oh, I want to kind of move some of it off, make it look a little more distressed, I can wipe the paint off that way. It's also water-based, so you could do what's called wet distressing, which is when you take a sponge, a damp sponge, and you can just wipe away the areas that you want to. Always wipe away that excess so you get the right look. I like to use a chip brush when I do this because it kind of just feathers the paint on and gives it a real authentic look. So you'll see this is what it looked like before and where we are now. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to finish painting this, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we can make it even look more authentic and charming with our Authentico wax. Hi, welcome back. It's Kristen from Foxtrot Home. Last time I saw you, we were doing a dry brush technique on our basket, and I was doing this with our Authentico Vintage Casablanca color. And just to show you, I've completed painting all the way around and even the bottom. And next what I'm going to do is use our Authentico waxes to give us an even more authentic and charming finish. So the first thing you want to do is use our clear wax to seal the paint that you've already placed on your basket. Our wax has a really beautiful butter-like consistency. I like to put a little bit on a cardboard palette, take my brush, swirl it around, and then very simply just brush it on. Since this paint is porous, it will absorb color and dye and stains. Since we're going to be using clear waxes, I really want to make sure that it's something that I can work with. And if I do a clear coat first, it allows me more flexibility when using the colors. So the three colors that I've selected, now I've already done most of the waxing, but just to show you, I mean, how easy. You just brush it on, that's it. It really liquefies on contact once you kind of emulsify it a bit. So the three colors that I've chosen for color waxes, I have our Authentico Furniture Wax in Taupe, dried moss, so I can get a little bit of green in there, and our dark brown, which really provides a nice antique look. So I'm going to start first with the taupe. I always like to start with the lightest color first and then come back in with darker colors because you can always build. You don't have to use 3 different colors of wax. I just think that this would be really lovely with it, but you know, you start with one color, you see how it goes, and then you go back in. So with the colored wax, I'm just, again, feather brushing it on. And then what I'm doing is just wiping it away from the surface. Because if you notice, when a basket is older or it's aged or it's been outside, there'll be darker spots kind of in the corners where maybe dust or dirt has kind of settled in, and that's the look I'm trying to get. And a little goes a long way. So it might be a little hard to see. I don't know if you could tell the difference here, but it's starting to get darker in certain areas, and then I'm kind of wiping it away. In fact, what I'm seeing with the color is that I think I want to go dark brown and get something a little more dramatic. You can kind of just stipple it in like so, or brush it on. Wipe it a bit. Yeah, that's giving me the look that I want. With our colored waxes, we have 16 different colored waxes actually. We even have a pastel rose. We have Swedish blue, which is really beautiful. We also have sparkling waxes, gold, bronze, copper, and silver, which can really add a sheen. Now, one thing I want to call out, all of these techniques that we're doing on this basket can easily be applied to any type of furniture, even wicker furniture. If you wanted to have kind of a distressed, old world, antique look to it, this would be the really great way to get it. And that paint is just going to absorb that color where it wants to. Also, this is something you can easily do with kids. You know, you can have them just be messy with the wax and not worry, and then just wipe away the areas. So I'm just going to show you where we're at. So we started more with a very kind of just whitewashed look. Now we've come in and we've added in the dark brown wax. So I'm just going to continue wiping in that dark brown and green. I even like mixing it in times. That's really the great thing with the 16 different color waxes that we carry, is you can mix them and create your own custom blend. Another technique you can do is use different colors of paint and layer them, again with the dry brush technique, and you can get even bolder contrast. This is really kind of giving it dimension, aging it. Kind of providing a translucent glaze. And then once you're all done, you can wait about an hour or two. Sometimes I leave it overnight, and I'll come back and I'll buff it just to get a little bit of a satin sheen. Or you don't have to buff it. It's not required. You can leave it with a matte finish. You know, with old baskets, I've seen it with both. Just depends on the type of paint maybe they used. So we are about done with our Casablanca paint, our dried moss, and our dark brown waxes. It really is beautiful. anytime you feel like you got too much colored wax in one area and you want to remove it, you can dilute it with just a little bit more of the clear wax. So like, let's say for instance, I put too much green here. If I want to come back in with my clear wax, it also works as an eraser. And I can simply erase where I might have gotten too much green. So that's why it's good, that it's all customizable, it's easy to do, foolproof. And that's it. So we used our vintage Casablanca from Authentico. Then we used our clear wax, our dried moss, and our dark brown. So I hope you try this project. It's a lot of fun and it's quick to do to get great results. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon at Foxtrot Home.